Hello, and welcome to episode 198 of the Casual Try Hard podcast. I'm
And
Brian,
I'm James.
and today we're talking all about the mechanics for the upcoming Brothers War.
Yeah, I think we're going to have spoilers done probably when you're listening to this. So I imagine next week will be our set review episode. And usually before we do that, we like to break down the mechanics of the set so that we don't have to spend time doing that when we're talking about cards. Everybody's on the same page. So that's what we're going over today.
Yeah. So if you want to reach out to us on social media or see my Halloween costume,
Ooh.
you can go check out the link below. All of our links are in the description. There we go. I'm a professional.
It's all right. It's been a rough night. It's Halloween and all.
Yeah.
Yeah, check out our social media. There's a link for our Discord, Twitter, Facebook, email, whatever. If you're looking to support the show, there's two ways you can do it. The first is no cost to you. Use our TCG Player affiliate link when you buy whatever you're going to buy that's Magic related. tcg.CasualTryHardMTG.com is the link. Follow that. Do whatever purchasing you're going to do, whether it's singles, sealed product, whatever. And anything you purchase, we'll get a percentage of that helps the show out. So make sure you do that if you're going to do any shopping on TCG Player. The other way you can support the show is directly through Patreon. If you enjoy the work that we do and look forward to listening us every week, we would appreciate it if you chipped a couple bucks into our Patreon. It's patreon.com/CasualTryHardMTG. Patrons get access to our show notes, so you get a sneak peek of what the show is going to be for that week. Usually I post them a day or two early before the show comes out. Patrons also get access to our pre-show, which is kind of just another hour of us every week. Sometimes Magic related, sometimes not so Magic related, but always Brian and James related. Always. Patrons also get put on my mailing list when I have some sweet swag to send out. I just sent out the Patreon givebacks last week, and every time I send them out, I get a whole bunch of really nice messages about how awesome the givebacks are. So if you're interested in those and want to get put on my mailing list, patreon.com/CasualTryHardMTG. Like I said, chip a couple bucks in and help keep us going, and you get to reap some rewards. So check that out.
Yeah.
And then we also have, I just wanted to shout out the YouTube channel for a minute. YouTube, CasualTryHardMTG on YouTube, because Brian's been hard at work making sure there's limited content for the entirety of like a set release. And I imagine we're going to have you did some Magic 30 stuff you said that's going to be coming out?
I annihilated Magic 30.
That's good.
I think it was 16-6.
Wow.
I think it was 16-6 or 16-7.
Yeah, nice work.
So, yeah, it is there are no synergies here. Just draft not even a good curve. Just draft removal and finishers, and it'll be fine.
Yeah.
I had a sick 3-color deck that I was casting spells off of golden eggs.
Ooh.
Oh yeah. I had a red sweeper in my base blue-black deck. Fine. Oh wait, no. It was a base. I'm sorry. It was a base green-black deck that I was casting a Muldrotha, a Diabolic Intent, and an Hour of Devastation.
Nice.
Oh yeah, I was just like, oh man, I need this golden egg to fix my mana. That's where this deck was. It was
your
great.
time to shine, golden egg.
Yeah, and then I'll loop you with Muldrotha.
That's right.
Great.
So if you're looking to catch some of that content, and I know you are, check out our YouTube channel.
Yeah, it should be going up next Monday. So we got plans for one more Dominaria United draft to finish off the week on Friday, and then we'll do the Magic 30 stuff to kind of bridge us, and then there'll probably be a couple days off while the new set comes up.
Yep.
And then we'll start doing new set drafts.
Yep, and I think we're going to try and do some constructed stuff this time around too, so stay tuned for that. We'll do what we can.
Yes.
But make sure you subscribe to YouTube. So whenever click the bell so it notifies you. So whenever we put something up, it yells at you on your phone and you can watch
Oh,
us.
click that bell. Look at you.
Yeah, see?
Just doing it now.
Well, that's how you do the thing, so.
And that is how you do the thing. I've not been doing the thing the way you've been doing the thing, man. That's
all right.
That's amazing. So, we have our mechanics article came out.
Mm-hmm.
So, there's really one true new mechanic.
Yeah, which is weird, right? Usually we have at least 2, sometimes more.
Yeah. Well, the not new but kind of new mechanic is returning from Dominaria United.
Right.
But we'll start with the new one.
All right.
So the new one is prototype.
Mm-hmm.
And basically we're making permanent split cards now.
Yeah.
So this is an alternative casting cost for artifact creatures that takes them from being, I think in all cases, from being colorless to having colored mana symbols in the casting cost.
Oh, okay. I hadn't noticed that. The one thing that I did notice is I think all of the ones that have come out so far are cheaper for the prototype cost.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's true across the board because we haven't seen the whole set yet, but all of them have been something huge and then something way more manageable.
Something realistic.
Yeah.
I think all of them, all the prototype ones, make it a color.
Okay. I hadn't noticed that. That's a good catch, though.
Yeah, I think.
So why is that important?
So this mechanic is very weird in that when you cast something for its prototype cost, it gains the color. It gains the mana cost that is its prototype mana cost. So it replaces the mana cost in the upper right-hand corner with whatever the prototype cost was.
Mm-hmm.
It gains the color of the prototype mana. So if it were a green, if it were 3 green to cast, it's now a green creature.
Right.
And then it gets the power and toughness equal to
whatever's in the prototype box there.
Whatever's in the prototype box. So basically, under the artwork, there's a smaller section that has a color that corresponds to the mana and the color the creature will be. In the upper right-hand corner of that smaller box is a mana cost, and in the bottom right-hand corner, there's a power and toughness.
Yep.
So if you use the prototype mana cost, basically those become the creature's mana cost and power and toughness. Any other abilities the card has in the text box, it keeps when you prototype it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So the regular text box stays regardless of how you cast the card, but if you prototype it, it gains the upper text box of the card. Yeah, it's kind of weird the way they did it. So, and that's only while it's on the stack or the battlefield. So while you're casting it, we have a Phyrexian Flesh Gorger here. It's a 7 mana CMC for a 7/5 menace lifelink ward. Pay life equal to Phyrexian Flesh Gorger's power as the text box. And then it also has prototype 1 BB and the power toughness box of 3/3. So you could cast this for 7 mana, and it'd be a 7/5 menace, lifelink, whatever. Or you can cast this for 1 BB, and it'd be a 3/3 menace, lifelink, whatever. So if you cast it for its prototype cost, while it's on the stack, its CMC is 1 BB, and it's a 3/3. And while it's in play on the battlefield, its CMC is 1 BB, and it's a 3/3. But as soon as it leaves the battlefield, it goes back to being a 7 mana 7/5.
Okay, this This is one of those mechanics that is like, I for one welcome our arena overlords.
Well,
Like
I
this
mean, it's a
is
mechanic that they would have. There's been a bunch of mechanics like this lately. I think we call them out every time we see them, but like they would never have attempted this were it not for arena.
no, because like this is a tracking nightmare in paper,
Yeah,
right? Like a big complicated board, and you have two of these, and you prototyped one in the early game, and you have one that you made paid full 7 mana for.
right,
Which one's which?
right.
How are you denoting that?
Yeah,
And it's not like they have it's not like they have like a little punch card that you like punch out a little box that goes around the prototype thing that you're like, this is what it
this
is.
is what it is. Yeah,
Right? Like remember the brick counters from Amonkhet where they had like the little bricks?
yeah, or the ability keyword counters from Ikoria.
Right? They're just like, remember.
Yeah,
Denote it somehow or figure it out. It's like, okay, I could use a sticker. No. Stickers are actual. No. Those are actual things. Don't. No stickers.
So, are there any
yeah.
cool things that we can do with this mechanic? You think? I mean, there's one that jumped like right to the front of my mind.
You can blink these, right? And they reset to their regular type.
That is what I was gonna say. Yep. So things like Ephemerate or Soul Herder seem pretty good here. Also, all of the black, like 1 mana, when this thing dies, return it to the battlefield.
Oh yeah.
They should be pretty good.
Ways to like reset them on the cheap.
Yeah.
And like all of their like full mana cost sides, I would say sides, but whatever.
I mean, it might as well be sides. That's
like,
one way to think about
it. This could have been done as
modal double face.
Double face cards.
Yeah.
As you have like, yeah, exactly, like a modal double face where you have the 7 mana side and then the 3 mana side.
Yep.
And you choose which one to cast. Now the downside with that is, right, kind of like the the lands, you had to like go like, oh, what is this on the back?
Yeah.
Right, like you'd always have to pull it out to look at it.
Yeah.
So that's a little awkward, but yeah, that's easier for tracking on the battlefield.
Mm-hmm. In paper, at least, for sure.
In paper, but probably worse for like telegraphing to your opponent exactly what you have.
Right.
Like what is the casting cost on this again?
So
and you like, take it out.
I guess this is closer to like the OG Kamigawa flip cards.
Kinda, yeah. That's a good way to think of it.
I mean, that's almost like a better way of doing this, I think.
Yeah, where like you could have like two, like you just have the card like upside down.
Yeah.
Like 2 halves of a card.
Yeah.
Basically make it a split card but for a creature.
Right.
But yeah, I think that blinking them is good in the fact that like they're just all modal. Like you can put like a 7-drop in your deck and have the output being a 3-drop.
Yeah.
Or a 10-drop and have it be a 5-drop. Right? That's just good to have that out.
Yeah. Most of these are like absurdly expensive too.
Yeah, like dumb expensive, like Eldrazi expensive.
Which is good for things that care about CMC coming off the top of your deck, like Eureka. Or Calibrated Blast is the other one, yeah.
Oh, this is interesting. Like you could like play a bunch of these idiots in Calibrated Blast decks,
and have like,
but then you have
some
the
sort
out
of backup
of like
plan.
Just playing it. Yeah, like I guess I'll play a 4 mana.
Yeah.
Like 2/2 double striker.
They're also kind of cool with Cascade, right? Because you're not gonna.
Oh yeah, you can't hit them.
So like if you're trying to Cascade into a free spell, the same thing that you would use like Bone Crusher or Brazen Borrower for. Like you can play these in your Cascade deck and not worry about hitting them.
But still have 3 mana, 4 mana plays to do. Yeah. That's interesting.
Yep.
Yeah, and like, they are all pretty good. Like, if there's good ways to reanimate things, it's probably a thing to consider as well.
Mm-hmm.
But as just any giant thing,
Right. I mean,
there's no like refurbish. Refurbish it is the cheapest reanimation spell that can hit these.
yeah.
At 4.
Oh, that's because they're all artifacts, right? I think
Yes, exactly.
I don't remember if we said
We
that
may
or
skip
not,
that.
but
They're all giant robots,
yes.
so they're artifacts. Giant artifact robots.
Yep.
And I mean, looking at some of the casting costs, 7, 9, 7.
Yeah.
Where are some more of the lower
Man,
ones?
this thing's a house.
8.
The Skitter Beam Battalion. Like, can you imagine like prototyping this out and then blinking it and just having an army of like 4/4s with haste?
Oh, that like makes copies of itself?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, thing's nuts. So Skitter Beam Battalion, 9 mana for a 4/4. Solid.
Yep.
But when it comes into play, it makes 2 copies of itself.
And it has trample and haste.
And they don't die.
Right.
You just get 2 copies of itself.
Yeah.
So when you prototype it for 3 red, you get 3 2/2s with trample haste. But then if you blink it, then you get.
You still have your 2 2/2s, and then you get 3 4/4s.
Yeah, that's pretty nifty.
Yeah. Or you refurbish this thing and just get 3 4/4. You just swing for 12 on turn 4.
Yeah, and just like we did it. Yeah, so they're all just giant casting costs. Like I said, they're all like, think just Eldrazi sized.
Yeah.
There's a 10. There's a common one that is 9 mana.
Yeah.
We mentioned this in the pre-show. This limited format, don't take 2 drops. Like, you're just going big.
Yeah,
right? Like
so.
maybe this devolves into you take 2 drops and you try to get under the giant stuff.
Well, I mean, that's going to be kind of hard too, though, because everything's got like a cheaper casting cost. Like they can prototype out their big thing and then have like an answer for your little thing.
Yeah, but it just seems like it's going to be like, we're doing big dumb things. Buckle up.
Yeah.
Like, enjoy.
Yep.
All right. So that was our new mechanic, and it does offer some interesting things, but it is also, again, like we said, a kind of an arena first mechanic.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. When I first read this mechanic, obviously you can look at the notes and see that I didn't have a whole lot to say about it. But I think the more we talked about it, the more use cases I can see.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's weird that like the card that makes copies is copying the prototype and not the actual like.
Well,
card
because I mean that is what the card is.
Because now that becomes the card.
Yeah.
Right, but I think it helps if you think about it as like if you prototype it, like that's the back side of the card.
Yeah.
All right. So Power Stones.
Yeah, we had kind of just a taster of these in Dominaria United. Was it just Karn that made them?
I think it was just Karn.
Yeah, Karn made these Power Stone tokens. That's kind of like they're super thematic for the Brothers' War, like that period in like Magic history, because that's what like the whole Brothers' War was fought over, were these Power Stones. But there's a whole bunch of cards that make them this time. They do the same thing. They're a token. Do they enter the battlefield tapped? No, I guess they don't.
They do.
They do?
I think.
Well, I think the ability that makes it usually makes them enter the battlefield tapped, but that's not the quality of the token.
Yeah. Most things that make them do say like enters the battlefield tapped.
Yeah. And they tap for a colorless mana that cannot be used for non-artifact spells. So you can use this mana to cast artifacts or to pay for activated or triggered abilities, but that's it.
Yeah. Which is convenient when you have a bunch of common 10 drops.
Well, I mean, it's also like one of the other mechanics that we're going to be talking about is an activated ability that you can use these for.
Yeah.
And if you have,
But
other costs that you need to pay, you can use this for that kind of mana, but not for casting instant sorceries or non-creature artifacts. Or, I'm sorry, non-artifact creatures or planeswalkers.
yeah, so
it's probably more confusing than it had to be.
Yeah. These are like the big mana thing for limited, and might like
they kind of just like tack these onto a bunch of cards, like stuff that you wouldn't think would ever help you ramp or make a token, like randomly has this ability on it.
So this, I need to go through and look at this a little closer, but this is Decayed Zombie from whatever that was, Crimson
Midnight Hunt,
not Crimson Vow, the other one, Midnight Hunt, right? In that, if they've basically, if the Mind Rot also makes a Power Stone and is 3 mana, then they forgot to cost the Power Stone onto these spells.
Gix's Caress, 2 and a black. Target opponent reveals their hand. You choose a non-land card from it. That player discards the card. Make a Power Stone. So not quite Mind Rot.
So that they did tack it on, right? Because that's sometimes 3 mana, but more
usually
often
2
2
mana. Yeah. Yeah,
right?
but if it's 2 mana with an upside, or 2 mana with an upside. Like we had, was it Transgress the Mind?
Yeah, and Agonizing Remorse.
Yeah.
The more recent one.
Yeah.
Was 2 mana and an upside. So like that seems costed in. But some of them might not be like all the way.
Stern Lesson, 2 and a blue, draw 2, discard a card, make a Power Stone.
So that's close to being about normal.
Well, I mean,
it's like a bad divination.
Yeah.
So they costed it on there by discarding a card.
Yeah.
Like what is this one here? Sibling Rivalry. A 4 mana threaten.
Yeah.
Which we've seen those in other sets. Like this is close. Threaten's usually 3.
Yeah.
So it looks like they've properly attached them to things.
Yeah.
So they might not be as like oppressive as the Decayed Zombies were, but
yeah, but like Decayed Zombies were only useful once, and these are useful more than once.
Yes, they do stick around longer.
Yeah, well, hopefully they're useful more than once.
I mean, hey, like if you cast a common that's a 10 mana, 10/10 reach trampler.
Yeah. It's pretty useful.
It doesn't have to be. They don't have to be useful too many more times.
Right.
Right. You're dead. What's that noise? That's the noise of you getting killed.
Yeah.
So, like, it's an interesting, like, extra piece of cardboard.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a limited extra piece of cardboard. But the other thing is, like, they've not successfully made an extra piece of cardboard that's not kind of broken. In recent memory.
True.
Gold might be the last one.
I mean, gold was just treasure. And treasure's
gold was just treasure, but like that didn't really like do anything. But
so,
like,
if you remember, way back in 2019, like when we did our set review for Throne, like food isn't inherently broken.
No.
All of the stuff around it made it broken. And that's not what I'm saying. But like an artifact token that like you pay mana into and then gain some life isn't the best thing in the world. It just happens to be used like energy, and that's what the problem is.
My thing is that in addition to that, right, there were the Urza food decks, that in Modern that just
cared about it
needed
being an artifact.
artifacts.
Yeah.
And then you have the not assembly worker. What is it? Like whenever you make a token,
Academy manufacturer.
yes. Right. The Academy manufacturer decks just made a ton of like cardboard to do stuff with. So they're permanents to sacrifice. They're permanents to tap for mana with Urza. They're again sacrificing to other thing. Like they're just a thing to do something with. They're another game piece, another game object. And so these, even if you're not super interested in the fact that they tap for mana to do a thing, might be interesting in the fact that like you can sack them to Reckoner's Bargain to draw a card.
Yeah.
You can, or to draw 2 cards.
Deadly Dispute.
You can't. Deadly Dispute. Whatever a Tog we may get.
Yeah. Dockside Chef.
Yeah, just any number of things that just like, I will eat these for some value.
Yep.
And, right, that's often just like enough, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, it like be on the lookout, if not this set, in like the coming sets for like, you know, the Atog, or the thing that just wants to like sacrifice artifacts or sacrifice permanents. Like, oh, sack a creature, or sack an artifact, your opponent loses 1 life.
Yeah. I mean, that'd be kind of cool if we got like straight up a Tog reprint.
I think we should.
Yeah, I think we should too.
Like, this is where Tog's from.
Yeah.
Like, it seems like if there was a society built on Power Stones, you would have creatures that eat Power Stones.
Mm-hmm.
I give you the Atog.
Yep.
And they better not give me Power Stone Atog. No, just Atog. No Atogs, just regular old Atog.
Yep.
Right? Because, like, in Kaladesh, right, they were like, oh, we have all these artifacts. Something's going to eat them.
Yeah.
Gremlins. No. Atog.
Yeah, we already had a thing that ate them. Yeah.
Just Atog. Go. So, yeah, but, like, if there isn't a Atog, right, like, you could just, like, oh, I make some Power Stones and then give my Atog, play a Atog, give it haste, and, like, 20 you.
Yeah.
Okay. So they might not be intrinsically super valuable.
I think we have a fling that makes a Power Stone too, don't we?
It's 4 mana though.
Is it 4 mana?
Yeah. Because I was.
Oh, it doesn't make a Power Stone though. You draw a card.
You draw a card. Yes.
Yeah.
Pyritic Blast.
Yeah.
Is that it? No. Pyrrhic Blast? I don't know. There are too many R's together.
Yeah, that's weird.
I don't like it. But yeah, a 4 mana fling that like draws you a card. You know what? Now that they've made this card that draws you a card, 2 years they'll make a 2 mana. No, in a year they'll make a 2 mana fling that draws you a card. They'll just knock 2 mana off of this and call it good.
Yep.
So, yeah, but if their written text doesn't matter on the Power Stone, the fact that they are simply artifacts on the battlefield might.
Well, I think there's enough artifacts around that, like, just at some point the text will matter. I mean, it might not matter every turn, but
yeah. But what I'm saying is, like, just like what made food busted in Modern was less feasting Troll King,
right,
and more that it was an artifact you could do stuff with.
Yeah.
Right? Like, people were playing Gilded Goose, not because it was better than Birds of Paradise.
Right.
But because it made an artifact.
Mm-hmm.
And so, if there are things that make these Power Stones that could end up being like, oh, hey, I need more ways to make tokens in some deck. This is a way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. The mechanic that no one asked for.
But we got anyway.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Meld.
Yeah, straight back from Eldritch Moon. Last time we had this mechanic, and it was unplayable in every format.
It is the Wonder Twins of Magic cards.
Yeah. So it's 2 cards that, when some condition is met, they exile themselves and then return to the battlefield as 1 card. You have to own and control both of the cards and then meet whatever criteria there is. I think one of them has an activation cost.
So, Urza, Lord Protector, 1 white blue for a 2/4 human artificer.
Mm-hmm.
Artifact instant sorcery spells you cast cost 1 less to cast, and then 7. If you both own and control Urza and an artifact named the Might and the Weak Stone, exile them and then meld them together.
Yep.
And then Mishra, you have to be attacking with it and a creature, Phyrexian Dragon Engine.
Yeah.
And then Titania, Voice of Gaia. God, the condition here is at the beginning of your upkeep, if there are 4 or more land cards in your graveyard, and you both own and control Titania, Voice of Gaia, and a land named Argoth, Sanctum of Nature, exile them and meld them into Titania, Gaia Incarnate.
Okay, so they all have a condition that has to be met. They don't just like automatically pop when you control them both. Because there's only 3 of them in this set. It's those 3.
Yeah. The ones from Eldritch Moon, like Gisela and Brazella or whatever.
Yeah.
Bruna and Gisela. Came Brazella. Right. You just had to own both of them.
Yeah,
own and control both of them.
Yeah, I think they just popped though. There wasn't like a condition that had to be met.
Yeah, that was the condition, was you had them both.
Yeah.
Like, this seems like, for as unplayable as the meld mechanic was the first time, the fact that we're sticking onto it, this additional condition, seems like, really? Because I think weren't all the other ones just like, hey, like, you did it, you have us. Yeah. So, yep. So Graph Rats was that. You just had to have them both.
And we're whatever.
You had to tap. You had to, like, there's an activated ability for it.
Okay.
That was weird.
Yep.
I searched for meld, and there are only because only half of them have like meld in their rules text.
I mean, it only has to be on half of them because they all happen when they're together, so it would be kind of pointless to have it on both halves.
No, I just searched for meld.
Yeah.
And was like, why did I only get 6 cards?
Yeah.
But so the backsides of all of these are just stupid. Right. They can just put, if this thing melds, you win the game,
basically,
on the back, because you have all played Magic. And if you know that your opponent has to put A and B together, and you basically get clowned out of the game if A and B are ever together.
Yep.
You just make sure they never put A and B together.
Right.
Right? And you're like, oh, well, I can, I can do something to make it happen. It's like, these all cost, like, stupid mana. Maybe Mishra's the one you could maybe sneak through.
I think Mishra's pretty good, actually, but
like, Urza, they gotta pay 7 mana. So, hey, you have both, and also you gotta pay 7 mana.
Yeah, I mean, Power Stones will help with that, though.
And the fact that it's his other half makes 2 mana.
But yeah, it's a Power Stone.
It is a Power Stone.
It's 2 Power Stones.
Yeah. Held together.
That'd be weird if you had to, like, meld the Power Stones and then have the melded Power Stones meld with Urza.
I mean, just
it's a triple card.
Yeah. They're just stacked 3 high. And so, 1, you can keep them off of it for a while. And 2, if, like, they meld and you don't, like, install, it's not just, like, game over. then you just get the 2-for-1 them.
Right.
Right? So you're just like, cool. I'm going to now kill your thing.
Yep.
And I kill both cards.
Right.
So you have both the issue of getting 2 cards on the battlefield at the same time and having them not die. And now you have to meet this condition. And then if you do, you get the joy of getting 2-for-1.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
And like,
not just 2-for-1, but a 2-for-1 that you sunk a whole bunch of mana into also.
Yeah, or a bunch of work.
Yeah.
So like Titania Gaia Incarnate, right? Now they now all do something when they meld. Mm-hmm. She returns all the lands from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped.
Yep.
But like, for as late in the game as it is going to be, like, does that matter?
Right.
Probably not. And then it just like eats, a Doomblade or a Go for the Throat because it'll actually be in the set.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, oh.
Well, I mean, Go for the Throat's probably not actually playable in this format, though, right? With all the artifact creatures?
Probably not. I was trying, what's the other? Infernal Grasp. It gets Infernal Grasp, right? And you're just like, oh, okay. I ranked myself on turn 15, but that doesn't really help me.
Yeah.
So that sucks. And then, like, Urza would draw cards, but I still distinctly remember someone who was a child playing a grown adult human being. And the guy had a Nicobolus, the one that you paid 7 mana to flip. And the guy's like, I want to flip my Nicobolus. And the kid's like, tap your mana. Tap it. And the guy tapped his mana and he's like, kill it. But like, it was like, tap your mana so you don't try to scumbag me. Tap it. Okay.
Good job, kid.
Kill it. And I was just like, all right, dude, calm down.
Yeah.
Like, you had him dead to rights. It's okay. He was done. So like you're gonna tap your 7 mana for Urza, and they're gonna be like,
kill it,
deal 4 damage to it.
Yeah.
And be like, oh yeah, I guess that was the thing that could happen.
Yeah.
And like Mishra, you're gonna be like, because like it's not enough to control both Mishra and the Dragon Engine. They're gonna be attacking.
Mm-hmm.
So like,
yeah, but he lets you get the engine back, right?
The engine gets itself back.
The engine gets itself back
because it unearths.
Oh yeah, that's what it is.
So the curve is like engine, get engine killed.
Yeah.
Mishra.
Unearth,
attack. But like Mishra has to make it through an entire turn cycle.
Yeah.
And you have to hit your 5th land.
Yeah.
Right? And like the Dragon Engine's just a 2/2?
Mm-hmm. Well, double strike.
Right? Yeah, but they're just like shock it.
Yeah.
Or sorry, play with fire.
Play with fire.
And you're like, oh, I just spent 5 mana. And I got utterly clowned. Like, okay.
And now it's exiled.
Now it's exiled. Now I have a 3/5 with a brick of text.
Yeah, that does not a whole lot.
Yeah, it doesn't do a whole lot. And you're just like, oh, well, that sucks.
Yeah.
So these are like the ultimate, like, what, Timmy card?
Yeah.
Right, where you're just like, oh my gosh, if I do this, it'll be so amazing.
Yeah.
That, like, rarely happens. And if it does, like, Timmy does a lap around your LGS.
Woo! Giving everyone high fives. I did the thing!
Did it. Yeah, so... it looks cool, but don't get like sucked too hard into it. But it's also weird that it's like, yeah, here's one of our 4 mechanics for the set. It's on 6 cards.
Well, I mean, technically it's on 3 cards, but requires 6 cards.
Yeah, but it's super weird, right? Like, here's one of our mechanics.
Yeah.
And it's like,
there are 2 quick rules things that I want to talk about, because that, like, ultimately that's what these episodes are for, is like the rules things that you might not know that might help you at pre-release or when you're playing with these cards or whatever. The first is that we have a lot of cards now that make token copies, and that didn't used to be a thing. Copies of cards, whether they're token copies or like a clone or something, do not have a backside.
Very true.
So a clone or a token copy or whatever will not let you meld because there is no backside. So
yeah,
keep that in mind.
Also, like, you can think they exile themselves, and if you have a token copy and it exiles itself, it just goes away.
Right. It just poofs.
Yeah. So it would try, right? It would try to meld and then wouldn't be able to.
I don't even think it would try because
Okay.
there is no backside. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you're right. Maybe it would try.
Like, it would exile itself, then it would meld. So it would exile, and then it couldn't meld to come back, like for Urza.
Except that it's all part of the same ability. So I don't think it would ever exile.
Okay, I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either. We'll have to check the comp rules when they come out for this set. I guess we could check the comp rules for Eldritch Moon, but
that's what I'm doing right now.
Yeah, because like the meld should be all one ability, like it's not split into two parts. So I don't know that they'd ever actually leave the battlefield since it couldn't return.
Fair.
Which kind of, while you're looking that up, kind of goes into the other rules thing that I wanted to make you guys aware of. If a card that's melded leaves the battlefield, it will revert to its front face. So if it goes to the graveyard, it'll be both front faces, or the two, it'll split into two cards, and both of the cards with their front faces will be in the graveyard. Or your hand, if it gets bounced back to your hand and you have Urza Planeswalker out, it'll be Urza whatever and the Might Stone and the Weak Stone. Same thing with blinking. If you have a melded Mishra or whatever and it gets blinked, they will come back as Mishra and the Dragon Engine, not Big Bad Phyrexian Mishra.
Yes.
Did you find it?
No, I'm looking here. There's nothing about tokens in because like you go to the comp rules or you go to like Gatherer, and it's like, for more information about meld, go to this article, which is just the mechanics article from when it came out. So it had the like it's one but it doesn't say anything about copies. It doesn't look like.
All right, well, we'll see when the rules update for this set comes out. Because that might be
something they have to deal with now.
Yeah.
Because,
well, I mean, we had clones then, but
yeah.
But yeah, we'll see when the rules come out. We'll update you guys.
Yeah. My little like spiel on like why this mechanic doesn't work out real well is more because I was excited about it when it came out, I guess now 6 years ago.
Yeah.
And like it did nothing.
Right.
Right. I was like part excited, part like this is dumb. Why are we putting two cards together?
Yeah.
But like, and then it just didn't do anything. So don't get too hyped. Also, like, they wanted to make it a thing in Eldritch Moon, so they had like a common one.
Yeah.
So you could do it in limited, which I think I did a couple times.
Yeah.
These are all rares and mythics.
Yes.
Like,
will not happen in limited.
Will not happen in limited. Like, you got both. You did it. And then you were able to draw them both and have everything work out. It's like, probably not.
Yeah.
So, I did the example from Eldritch Moon is like if they get like Journey to Nowhere, Banishing Light kind of thing, it becomes two cards again, face up in exile.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're just two of them. All right, and then after Meld, we have Unearth. which this hasn't come back for a really long time, right?
Well, we had it in Modern Horizons.
Oh yeah, we did.
But I mean, there was a million mechanics in Modern Horizons, so
Yeah, doesn't count. But Unearth is an activated ability that can only be activated when the card is in the graveyard.
Mm-hmm.
And it brings the card back for it. So every card with Unearth says Unearth, and then like a mana cost usually.
Mm-hmm.
I think always. And then you pay that cost. The card comes back onto the battlefield, and it has haste, and you sacrifice it at the end of turn.
Exile.
Exile. I'm sorry, exile at the end of turn.
And you also exile it if it would leave the battlefield normally. If it got killed in combat or destroyed or whatever, it's exiled instead.
And you're not casting it. It's an activated ability.
Correct. So a little bit different than Escape, where you are casting it.
Yeah, so it can't be counterspelled, but it could be stifled or whatever the modern version of stifled. What is that card?
Disallow.
Anyway, there was disallow. Yeah, that'll work. Tail's End.
Tail's End. Yep.
Yeah. So it's something that you can feel pretty confident is going to happen.
It's also a thing you can do with your Power Stones.
Oh, very true. Yeah.
Yep.
Hadn't thought of that.
I said it earlier.
Most of them have a colored mana cost. Sorry.
Yeah, but there's colorless mana in it too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, you can pay for part of it.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like a kind of a grindy mechanic, but since they like don't stay around, it's also kind of like an aggressive mechanic. Like you just have these like hasty creatures hanging out in your graveyard.
I would say it's a little bit more of a aggressive mechanic than a grindy one, because they have haste and it's like, I just killed that thing and now they get another turn with it. It lets you apply constant pressure. You always got something to do with all these unearthed cards in your graveyard.
Yeah, it's hard for you to run out of gas. Like you can, your initial onslaught gets to like, have a second life as these unearthed creatures.
Also, we were talking, was it in the pre-show, about looping Stoned Brain with Karn?
Yes.
I mean,
you could also loop these.
You could loop
Karn.
these with Karn too, yeah.
Well, the artifact ones, yeah.
Well, I think
because like Karn,
I think they're all artifacts, aren't they?
Are they all artifacts? I haven't looked.
Yeah, I think they're all artifacts.
Probably a safe guess.
Yes, I remember, because in the article it specifically said that there will be non-creature artifacts that have unearth, which is weird because we've never had unearth not on a creature before.
Yeah, and one of the things that gets unearth is a desk.
Yeah.
So that is not a desk is in fact a
not a creature.
It's not a creature.
Yep.
But
I mean, you could make it a creature,
I guess. But like, yeah. So your desk can come back from the dead.
You unearth it and then animate it.
There you go.
Ensoul it.
You dig it up and then you like ensoul desk.
Yep. I'm going to attack you with my desk.
And I guess
have
like
some
as
letterhead.
of right now, I guess we're only like a third of the way through the set.
Mm-hmm.
But there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things.
Well,
with Unearth.
So we're recording this on Monday, and we will have, I think, all of the rares and mythics by Thursday, and then the remainder of commons and uncommons on Friday. So spoilers will be coming quickly.
So as of Monday, there are only 6 cards.
Yep.
And maybe there'll be more meld cards, but I think they said there are only 3.
No, they said there's only 3 meld cards.
This is one of those, like, this is a cool, flavorful thing, but it doesn't play well.
Yeah.
So let's not spend too much time there.
Meld, not Unearth. Unearth is meld, A+ good time.
Unearth is good.
Yeah.
Unearth is good.
Yeah.
What was the card that used to get played modern? Is it Hellspark Demon? Like the 3/1 that unearthed?
Hmm.
Like it used to, like, modern from a million years ago, when a 3 mana, what's it called? A 3/1 was like a playable Magic card. When it was 1 mana,
Yeah,
uh,
I don't remember.
but it got played ever so slightly, and it was like, oh yeah, so here it is. Yeah, Hellspark Elemental,
Hellspark Elemental
Trample Haste, 3/1 for 1 in the red.
with
At the
Unearth.
beginning of your of the unstep, sacrifice Hellspark Elemental, and then unearth it for 1 in the red.
Yeah.
That used to be a playable modern card.
2 halves of a ball lightning.
2 halves of Hell Lightning. Our powers combined.
Yep.
So, we have one more mechanic that is not really in the set,
It's
but that's
super
kind
weird
of
that
in
they
the
like.
set.
Well, I mean, it's in the mechanics article.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
I had scrolled farther down that far.
That's why that's the only reason I included it, because we kind of already talked about it. But
We
it's
did.
in the mechanics article, so I figured we'd at least mention it.
They didn't give it a little video, though. That was kind of disappointing.
Yeah.
Sorry, 1 second. There we go. Transform.
Yeah, we have Transformers are a mechanic in Brothers War.
Yes,
For
because
reasons.
on Dominaria, there was Bumblebee and there was Optimus Prime.
Yeah.
So there is
These
so
are
much
like
going
not
on.
playable though, right?
Are they only in collector boosters, or are
No,
they in all
I
boosters?
think they're in all boosters, but they're not like you can't even use them in limited, I don't think.
That's That'd be weird, right? You get a card that you just like can't use at all.
Maybe they're not in draft boosters then. Maybe they're in set boosters.
Maybe they're in set boosters.
But I'm pretty sure that they're not limited legal.
I am scrolling through right now. Will appear in set and collector boosters.
Okay, so they're not in draft boosters.
Yes.
Even weirder that it's a mechanic in the set then.
Even weirder. So, but, so they have convert, which is these cards are double faced. You meet some condition and you flip from one side to the other.
Right. So Optimus Prime has a tractor side or tractor trailer side and a robot side.
Yes.
Yep.
And so like for him, when you attack bolster 2, the chosen creature gains trampled end of turn. When that creature deals combat damage to a player, convert Optimus Prime. And then his other side is when he dies, return to the battlefield, convert it under its owner's control.
Yep.
So if he biffs it, he comes back, and when he's on his backside, if you hit with another creature that you put counters on,
it flips.
It flips.
Yep.
Then it has more than meets the eye, which is kind of prototype. It's basically the way we talked about prototype working.
Yeah.
Where it's an alternate casting cost that puts it on the back side of the card.
Yep.
Right. It puts it on the vehicle, or let's say object side.
That's true. They're not all vehicles.
Yeah, one's a boombox. But so it puts it on the object vehicle side. For typically a lesser casting cost. So it's kind of like prototype.
Yep. And then the ones that are vehicles on the backside, because there's one that isn't, have an ability called Living Metal, where they're vehicles, but as long as it's your turn, they're already crewed and they don't have a crew cost. So you can't
They just
you
drive
can't
themselves around.
Yeah. You're not gonna put like Shieldred in Optimus Prime and have her drive around.
Optimus would not be down for that.
No. Definitely not.
Spider person, get out of me.
Your tentacles are scratching my upholstery.
It's just no good. So this might be more something that you see like at a commander table than in.
Yeah.
You're not going to see it in limited. They're just not there.
Right. And they're not
But-
standard legal. And they're not legal in Pioneer or Modern. I guess technically they are legacy legal, though, so you could play your Bumblebee, Gandalf, Stranger Things, Rick Grimes deck
Oh, man.
with your Warhammer Space Marines.
Yeah. This sounds great.
How long is it going to be till somebody builds some really obnoxious, like, all universes beyond deck just to piss people off?
I mean, people are playing. What are they called? Attraction decks in Legacy.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, we called that, though. It's just free value.
No. Like, actual decks that use attractions.
Oh.
I think I retweeted it, but
Yeah.
Mangucci, he's like, the guy beside me was playing an attractions deck. I did not know how it worked. And we played against each other. And he tried to explain it to me, and I still don't know how it works.
Wonderful.
So, yeah. It's weird, man. But, I don't know.
The world we live in.
But I do kind of want 9 Transformers to, like, display on my wall. Like, I'm a kid from the 80s.
Well, I mean, the cool thing is there's 2 different art treatments. One's like super duper, like flashy secret lair kind of art, and one is like OG animation, like 80s art.
I think that they had said that they actually went and found single cells of animation from the original show.
Yeah, I remember reading that as well.
Yeah, so
which you can do
like,
when you own the IP.
yes. You can send some poor intern down to find
Deep in a warehouse in Texas, underneath all the Legends boxes.
Yeah. Hey guys, I found all these Legends boxes. Yeah, no, we don't care about that. We need a good picture of Soundwave. You do? Yes, Soundwave.
Yeah.
And RC Sharpshooter. I don't even know what Transformer that is. We'll keep looking. Comes out, eyes bloodshot, knows the entire Transformers lore.
What happened to you?
Oh my gosh. Do you think when we go to Ixalan, we'll get the Dinobots?
Oh, we're going back to Ixalan.
Yeah.
Oh, I hope so.
We get Dinobots.
Yeah.
Great.
I hope that happens.
I have an entire wall of just Transformers
cards. You'll have to get the previous ones.
The previous Transformer ones?
Yeah.
Well, I'm getting these ones. Are there other ones? Oh, the ones
Yeah,
that were
there was
that were the
San Diego Comic-Con promos.
Oh yeah.
Was it I think it was SDCC.
Or was it like a promo in Wizards?
Maybe no, they were for sale. Like before Secret Lairs, they used to do these other promos.
Yeah.
They're silver bordered, but
yeah, but still, it would be just I can have the whole collection.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm from the 80s. Look at me. I am old. It hurts when I sit.
Blaster Combat DJ.
So, for the most part, the mechanics for this set are pretty straightforward.
Yeah, there's some cool intricacies that these the mechanics have a lot of, other than Power Stones, I guess. The mechanics do have some play to them, which is good.
Yeah.
There just aren't many mechanics. Although, like, maybe this is a thing we're going to see going forward, too, though, is that because they're taking all these mechanics and making them, like, evergreen. Or not evergreen, but whatever the other word is.
Deciduous?
Deciduous, sure. Trees. maybe they don't need as many mechanics in a set if they can just pick and choose from like any old mechanic whenever they want.
Yeah, that's just like been keyworded, and they're just like, yeah, this is fine for us to use more frequently.
Yeah.
Because like we randomly have Surveil, and like Surveil might have been on the mechanics list
Mm-hmm.
if they hadn't decided to like make it like just a mechanic that we always have now.
Yep.
So, yeah, so this should be interesting. Limited should be interesting. Like I said, we should probably be just going giant.
Yeah, it's going to be weird. We'll have a better judge of what the format's trying to do once we get the whole set spoiled. Once we see more of the commons and uncommons.
Yeah. So, with that, I think we have a show.
We have a show.
So, if you want to tell us why Transformers are the best and why the Dinobots rule, you can get us on social media. Just check the description. Tweet at me your favorite Transformer, and all that jazz.
He's a Transformer.
Yeah, Jazz is. Ratchet.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. He was the ambulance, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I remember the names of the Dinobots.
Oh, geez, I don't remember.
That
was a long time ago, man. I've killed a lot of brain cells since then.
Oh, man. The Grimlock Dinobot leader, Grimlock Furious King media promo for Magic the Gathering.
Yeah.
It's a foil. There's currently a handful of them on a TCG player. The cheapest one is $232, and it's light play.
Wow.
Yeah.
I should have bought that, not a secret lair.
Yeah, really. They've spiked since August.
Hey, speaking of which, I know we're like midway through closing the show out, but you didn't happen to get an email for shipping for your commander decks, did you?
I don't think, no.
Because in the last email we got, they were supposed to ship on the 24th.
Oh,
and that was like, what's that, 7 days ago?
Yeah, I've not had a commander deck show up at my house.
Yeah, I haven't either.
So that might not be the best for
yeah,
for them arriving at some point this year.
Yeah. Well, anyways, hit us up on social media. Like Brian said, links are in the description. And if you guys are looking to support the show, there's a couple different ways you can do that. The first is our TCG Player affiliate link. If you want to buy Grimlock or some other card for your Transformer Commander deck or whatever you're playing, use our TCG Player affiliate link. Just tcg.casualtryhardmtg.com. Head over there, shop as normal. Anything you purchase after navigating to TCG Player using that link will help support the show. We'll get a kind of a kickback for you using our link, and we would greatly appreciate it. If you want to support us more directly, you can do so at patreon.com/CasualTryHardMTG. If you think we do a good job, you can chip a couple bucks in and you get access to more content. You get to look at our show notes. I post them up so you can see what the show is going to be about. You also get to listen to about another hour of us every week as we check our equipment and kind of catch up a little bit. And you get put on my mailing list for when I do givebacks. Speaking of which, any patrons that are still listening, I asked a question in my letter and I haven't had any responses yet. So make sure you read my letter and let me know what you think. But if you want to be included in the Patreon givebacks, patreon.com/CasualTryHardMTG and sign up. We'd appreciate it.
Yeah. So with that, we'll catch you on the internet.
We'll catch you on the internet.